Hey y'all, I used to do something called Wednesday Wisdom. I kind of got away from it during COVID, but my sisters and I found ourselves in a unique situation in the fact that all three of us are pregnant at the exact same time, with different stories, different backgrounds, and even all living in different states, and to top it off, during a global pandemic. So, we wanted to get together on Zoom and just kind of talk about a few different things, break it up into some different segments, post them for Wednesday Wisdom type video updates, and just kind of share with you guys some of the stuff that we have gone through and our journey during this time. So our maiden name is Mackenzie. It's what we grew up going by when it came to sports and different things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on a Zoom call. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the Mac sisters.
Hi, I am Kendall. I currently have a 1-month-old. His name is Brett. And before being a mom, I was a teacher for 5 years. I taught first grade in the state of Oklahoma as well as Texas. I currently live back in Houston, Texas, and I am taking this year off to be a stay-at-home mom for my little Brett man.
And you've known your husband for how long?
Oh, yeah. So he and I actually started dating back in high school. His name's Trevor. And we've been together for 10 years. So we dated for 5 years, then we got married at 22, and we've been married for 5 years.
This might take me a couple tries because I don't like talking on the video.
It's so weird. It's okay.
I know, I'm surprised you said this, to be honest.
I forgot the fact that I'm married, you know? It's okay.
Okay. My name is Kelly Henderson. I gotta get used to saying that now because I always call myself Kelly Mackenzie and that's not my name anymore.
Wow.
I have 2 kids, a 4.5-month-old and a 5.5-year-old. I said month-old first, right?
Yeah.
I live in Washington. I've been in Washington for the last 3 years almost, coming up in October, not August. Before I became a mom, I was a high school student, so not much of a background there. I got out of high school pregnant and then became a full-time nanny. Stop, baby. Became a full-time nanny in August of 2014, and I've been a full-time nanny ever since then. Even when I moved to Washington. In Texas, though, I did do coaching for volleyball and cross country. Now, because of COVID and because of having baby number 2, I am just a stay-at-home mom and wife to Zachary, who I went to high school with.
I was going to say, you've also known your husband
for a very long time, but didn't become my husband until a year and a half ago.
How weird is it, though, that we all didn't branch very far outside of our hometown, even our tiny private schools,
like it all,
to find husbands? I also met my husband originally in Sunday school back at church. He was homeschooled up until junior high. So we didn't actually start going to school together until junior high. We didn't like each other for years, didn't even talk during college. We worked together during the summers, but just didn't get along, and then started dating post-college because we were working at the same school as teachers and coaches. And now we live in Santa Monica, California, where I was working in theater and coaching and commercial work. And ever since COVID hit, I have been basically out of work because my theaters have all shut down. The film industry shut down for a long time, and then once things started to reopen, I'm still pregnant, and people won't hire me because I'm on the CDC list of whatever it's called where you're high risk. I feel like we've all had such different pregnancies. What are some of the symptoms that you have had at any point in time during your pregnancy?
So much nausea.
Like your first trimester or all the way through?
Just the first trimester, and just with Cody. I didn't have it with Lane, but with baby number 2, and it was bad all day long. Zach used to get really mad because I'd sit up in bed late at night and just breathe. I'd go, and he'd get so mad. He'd be like, I have to go to bed and get to sleep for work in the morning.
When I do that, it scares Jason. Because like I'll just sit up or like I'll stand up and just kind of like stretch out so that I don't puke. And Jason will like jump up because he's like, who's in here? Like his like fight or flight kicks in and it creeps him out. But we also watch a lot of scary movies. That's probably why. Kendall, what were some of your symptoms?
I didn't really have a bad first trimester at all. My main thing was hunger. Like I was starving my first trimester, and so I was teaching at that point, and my kids had a snack thing that they could cash in like different points in my classroom for the snacks, and I started eating the snacks. My kids were always like, why does Miss T always get our snacks?
So you were like the bus driver on Billy Madison. The kids were on a field trip and you're like scarfing down all the food.
I'd be doing like math intervention groups, and then I'd have a snack, and you know, I'd of course have to incorporate a snack into that group because they're like starving while I'm eating snacks in front of them. And like if I got nauseous, it's because I didn't eat when I had that hunger cue. So like if I ate, I was never nauseous. So.
Which I feel like is similar to even if you were without pregnancy. I feel like you've always been the kind of kid that like you needed to eat or you would get hangry.
I have literally thrown up because I didn't eat. That's the first time that that's happened, but ever since then, I make sure like I eat like clockwork. And I wasn't even pregnant then.
What about heartburn? I've heard it's worse for people that are pregnant with girls, which obviously you all have boys. So heartburn's been horrible for me. Did y'all have it at all?
I did a little bit.
I had it at towards the end. Oops.
Sorry. Same. I had it towards the end.
Too.
I
keep talking over you. I'm so sorry.
Y'all are saying the exact same thing, like at the exact same time. Y'all both had it towards the end.
I heard that it has something to do with hair too, though, right? Or is that not true?
I've heard
like if your baby's got like a lot of hair, maybe.
If that's
or is that just like
I'm literally
made up thing?
A monkey because I've had heartburn the entire pregnancy, like so bad. Like I have to take papaya pills like religiously.
Oh, yeah. Like so I had it like once after some spicy meal, and I was like, okay, I'm not eating spicy food again. And so that was the first time I'd ever gotten Tums for heartburn. I was like, what is happening? I never had heartburn. And then as the pregnancy progressed, it wasn't bad, but like randomly I would get it, and I could link it to like certain foods, whether it was super greasy or had more spice. But then toward the end, I literally got it, not as much as you, but a lot for me. And it wasn't that bad. Like when it was coming, I just popped Tums and I was good. But he also had a head full of hair.
What about swollenness?
Kelly, talk.
I looked like someone took my hand and went and blew up my whole body.
Like during the whole
my arms swell, my fingers, my toes, my ankles, my face. It like doubles in size. It doesn't matter what I do. I swell. I feel like once I hit like 23 weeks or so, both times, I feel like I got swollen.
I got swollen the last like week or two before I had him. And it was my ankles. Like my ankles and my feet got super bad. My hands, it's hard to tell if it was like Texas heat or pregnancy, but I could wear my rings all throughout pregnancy. It's just, I mean, one or the other. They got a little, thicker, but I could still wear my rings.
Well, for me, it wasn't as early as 23 weeks. Like, it's literally just been the past couple weeks, I feel like, that I've kind of texted y'all about stuff. But, like, literally, I was hiking the other day, and it looked like my hands, like, turned white, and then my fingers looked like balloons. Like, Jason couldn't even hold he couldn't even waffle because my fingers were so fat and puffy. He had to, like, massage each individual finger. And then, like, I sent y'all a picture of my feet and my ankles. I was like, this is, like, I think I have elephantitis. Like, I didn't know. I'd never experienced anything like that before. I was, like, sending pictures to people. I was like, guys, like, I don't even understand what's happening with my body. That definitely didn't get bad until, I'd say, third trimester. Carpal tunnel. Did y'all have any issues with, like, your wrists or anything getting, like, super locked up or sore?
I don't think so.
Maybe it's a girl thing. What about Charlie horses, like at night in your calves?
Oh, I got them bad with Lane.
Really?
I remember them with Lane because I'd have to like get up out of bed and like stretch because they would hurt so bad. It only happened a couple times with Cody.
No, Brett, I didn't really get them, but I could feel the start of it happening twice. And you know, when you feel it starting, like you try to get your body in a certain position to avoid it.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I do the same thing at night. I've gotten them pretty common throughout pregnancy. And we bought like one of those, I don't know what they're exactly called, but one of those massage guns, the one that's kind of like foam rolling.
Yeah.
And so I never like believed in those. I was just always like, oh, when I go to a chiropractor, I want them to use their hands. I don't want them to use a gun. And then we tried one out and I was like, oh my goodness, my calf literally feels better. Like it just like instantly changed my mind. So we ended up getting one and it's been a huge help with my calves and even my feet, like my circulation. Did you ever elevate your feet? Or try elevating
no,
your hands?
I should have.
I elevated my feet because I freaked out as soon as I swelled.
Elevated my whole body.
What about, I assume y'all have heard the term lightning crotch?
I have heard the term, but I never got it.
I mean, like I've heard that, but not like for pregnancy.
It was so funny because there was one night that I was like complaining about the way something felt, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awful. But like, it's like a really sharp pain, literally in your crotch. And then as soon as you move, it'll go away, like when you readjust yourself, because it's like baby is in a certain area and maybe they're hitting a nerve or something. And so by moving, you're moving the kid off of whatever it is that's currently pinching or hurting. And the next morning, it started happening again. And Jason was like, or I said something about the term lightning crotch. And he was like, oh, you know what that is? And I was like, of course I know what that is. Do you? And he was like, yeah, it was on my daddy blog, but I was afraid to tell you about it because I didn't know what you were experiencing, and I didn't want, he like went into this whole thing, and I was like, Jason, whatever your dad blog says, like just tell me, because like the one that he's been doing, it's like every week you listen to something. I'll have to post the title of it because the name's escaping me right now. But literally there's days where he's like, so my daddy blog says today that you're supposed to be doing this. And it's like, every time it's been right aligned with what we're doing. There was even one day where he was like, my dad blog says I'm supposed to start massaging your feet every day. And I was like, praise God for whoever wrote
It's about time.
Yeah, whoever wrote that dad blog, great. Do what they said.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love Jason. He's so committed.
It's so funny.
I feel like he's more knowledgeable than I was throughout the pregnancy.
I'm not gonna lie, there's so
Jason was more knowledgeable throughout both of my pregnancies.
You have to remember though,
he knows everything.
He was an uncle by the time he was 10, and our kid is number 15 in line with nieces and nephews. So there is a lot of things that like I'll read and I'll just stop because I'm like, either Jason's gonna tell me or I'm gonna go through this naively because I don't want to know this level of intensity or pain. Like I'm just gonna, Kelly did it. She was naive. She was young. I can push through too.